Hey guys, it's BJaws, and since Halo 5 is 5 years old now, which is just insane, especially since we don't have a new Halo yet at this point, I figured let's go ahead and look back at all my power weapons and power vehicles that I got from the rec packs, the collection that I have, how many of each I have. I just thought it'd be fun to look back at it, how much I've collected over the time. Of course, I've used some of them in games in Warzone, and some of you guys have actually given me some as well, so thank you for that. But we're just gonna look at the collection and see how many we have of each. So to start off, we're gonna go with the power weapon. Let's look at the sniper rifles as the first thing comes up. So we got the beam rifles. Right now we have 167 of those basic beam rifles. Next up, we got the Sword of the Faithful. We have 150. Then 176 crits left hand. So I would say we have a lot of sniper rifles that we could use. Let's go to the binary. So this is the twin jewels. We got 115. Then we have the retina of the mind's eye, 159. Basic binary rifle, we have 282. We have almost 300 of those, which is insane. That's a lot. Bolt shot, 159 for the basic. The closed fist, 383. Open hand, 463. We almost have 500 of those. I gotta say, I really don't use those too much. Maybe it's just because it's so sweaty that, I don't know, that I just stick with the pistol. I have no idea why I don't. But anyways, we have a lot of them. Brute Plasma Rifle, 277 of the basics. Sorrow of Tish, 312. Scale of Sorat, 218. Those I absolutely never, ever spawn unless I'm trying to like make some kind of crazy video or something. Carbine, we have 67. I do spawn that one because nowadays the BR is horrible. So I think it's like only a level 3. I think maybe it's level 3 now. I don't even remember, but the carbine's better than the BR at the basic levels now, so that's why I have so little of those. 354, the Reign of Oblivion, and then Blood of Saban, 122, which used to be so good until they nerfed it a little bit. The carbine wasn't as accurate once they nerfed it, but it's still pretty solid weapon. Basic Energy Sword, we have 400 of those. 362 of the Ravening Silver, and then 197 of Vorpal Talon. So I would say we have quite a few swords that we could spawn if we wanted to. Prophet's Bane, we almost have 100 of these. So that's still a good amount of those, but of course it's a legendary, so it's very, hard to get in those rec packs. Then we got the Fuel Rod Cannon, 250 of those. 364 of the Light of Earth, which I gotta say is actually a pretty solid Fuel Rod Cannon that I should use more than I do. Then 240 of the Pool of Radiance, which also isn't a bad Fuel Rod Cannon, but I have to say I like Light of the Earth a little bit more. Gauss Turret, we have 48. Then we have the Oni Gauss Turret, 34. And I use those quite a bit. So that's why I have very little of those, because those are pretty solid to take out Banshees and all that good stuff. Gravity Hammer, we have Corpse Maker, we have 376, which is a lot. The basic one, 417. The Grinder, we have 209. And then for the Tartarus Gavel, we have 78 of them. So we still have a good amount of those. Definitely a lot of the basic Gravity Hammers. I don't usually use that a whole lot, but I probably should. Now we're going on to the Halo 2 Beam Rifle. We got 155 of those, 141 of the Halo 2 Beam Rifle Alpha, and only 61 of the Halo 2 Beam Rifle Delta, which this is one that I haven't really been able to get a whole lot of opening all the packs. I would like more of those because it is a good sniper rifle. Then we got Wicked Grasp. So we got 329 of those, a lot. Berserker's Claw, and that one locks onto the air vehicles, is 184 of those. Those I never spawn. We got the Hydra Launcher, which I do use actually quite a bit. 116 of those, 244 of the Typhons, and then 143 Echidnas. So I'm surprised I have as many of those as I do, because I do spawn those quite frequently. Incineration Cannon, 161 of the basics, 235 of the River of Lights, 160 Heartseekers. And I gotta say, I don't spawn the Incineration Cannon as much as I should. It is a very good weapon to use. Light Rifle, 386 of the basics, so quite a few of those. 187 of the Barbed Lance, and then only 83 of the Dying Side, which is also a very fun weapon to use, which I don't usually take advantage of. Then let's go on to the Whispered Truth. We got 126 of those. Halo Combat Evolved Pistol, which is a beast, by the way. We have 91. Regular Needler, 326. The Hailstorm, which I actually spawned that quite a bit, and it's very good Needler that I really like. We have 277. Talon the Lost, I'm not a huge fan of. We have 445 of those, so I hardly ever spawn those. Plasma Caster, which I do spawn, 175. Scourge of Fire, 259, which is also a pretty good one, which I don't usually spawn. I spawn the basic one more than anything. The White Scar, which is a very good Plasma Caster, we have 131 of those, so that's good. Basic Plasma Pistol, which I hardly ever use, is 79. The Spitfire, which I don't spawn much either, is 207. Then the Void's Tier, we have 135, which is a really good plasma pistol to take out like Banshees and just Spartans in general. It's a fun one to use. Then we have the Plasma Turret, which is one I never ever spawn. 379 of those. Railgun, only 25 of the basic ones because I do spawn the railgun. It is a very powerful weapon. Whiplash, 121, so that's a good amount, and the Whiplash is amazing. Arclight, which I like more than Whiplash, actually, is we have 87 of those. Then we have just random weapons. We have 735 Rex of those that we could do. 950 of the random weapons uncommon. And then we have 207 of the rare random weapons. So we have quite a few of those if we want to do like a random weapon video again, which I believe I did one in the past, long time ago. For the grenade launcher, we have 54 of the basics. Pro pipe, we have 101 of those, and that is a very, very fun weapon to use as well. Rocket launchers, we have 128 of the basic rocket launcher. Ad Victorium, which probably is one of my favorite rocket launchers to use. We have 125. Bunker EM, or M, 253. Spunker rocket launcher, 371. High 5, which is a fun one to use, is 181. The Spunker X, 220, which is also a good one to use. And then, of course, Spunker Prime, it's a beast. 83 of those only. Let's go on to the rocket pod turret. I never spawn these, hardly ever. 197. Oni rocket turret, we have 97. Now we're on to the saws. We have 222 of the basic saw. Appetite for destruction, we have 313. The answer, which is just a fun weapon to use, is a beast weapon to use, 173. So that one, we could definitely spawn some more if we wanted to. Then we have the scatter shot, which is 361. The loathsome sting, 330. Didax Cyanide, 112. So the scatter shot is something I don't spawn much. The Didax Cyanide, though, that is fun one to use. It's pretty good, pretty solid. The Safeguard Sentinel Beam, we have 64 of those. I don't spawn that too much. The basic shotgun, 103. Lawgiver, 268. Blaze of Glory, we have 169, which is obviously a very, very good shotgun to use. And then we have the Oathsworn, which I don't spawn much either. 102 of those. Then we have, going on to the UNSC sniper rifles, we have 138 of the basics, 128 of the end of the line, 172 Arrow of Time, only 57 of the Norfangs. I have used quite a bit of these Norfangs though to make videos, and it is obviously harder to get them in rec packs. So that is why we have so little, but still not a bad amount. Spartan lasers, we have 69 of the regular ones, 55 of the end games, which I really like to use. This is probably my favorite laser to use. Then Celine's Lance, we only have 29. And that's also a decent laser to use. Splinter Turret, which I never ever spawned, 286. The Storm Rifle, 99. Then we have the Furry. This is going to be 268. Fury, I think is how you say it. Blissful Slumber, 350, which is also pretty solid, but I don't use it very often at all. Suppressor, I never really ever spawned the Suppressor. 109 of the common. Song of Peace, 332. And then Razor's Edge, 258. And then onto the chain gun turret, 95 of those. 193 Oni chain gun turret, which is a good turret actually to use. It's pretty solid. And then George's chain gun, which is 72 of those. So a decent amount of those. I have used a few of those. Not as many as I probably should, because it is such a powerful weapon to use. But nonetheless, there is all of the rec packs that I have at the moment after 5 years for the weapon. I would say quite a bit. I have quite a bit of these weapons that I've collected over the years. And of course, I've used them over time. But it's just cool to go back and see how many that we have. And as you can see, I have absolutely no rec points right now. So I can't open anymore at this time. So that's all the power weapons that I have. Let's go and look at the vehicles that I have. So here are the vehicles. Starting with the Banshee. We have 243 of the regular Banshee, which is actually quite a bit. 194 Sword Banshees. 50 Banshee Ultras, which is the Banshee I obviously spawn the most because it is one of my favorite vehicles in Halo 5 Warzone. Then the Temple Banshee, which is, we have 108 of those. So also a very solid Banshee to use. Going on to the Warthogs, we have the Gauss Warthog, 221 of those. 174 of those Gauss Warthogs. Then we have 112 of the Oni Gauss Warthogs. Tundra Gauss, 102. Urban Gauss, 87. So I would say we have quite a few Gauss Hogs that we could spawn if we really wanted to. And we actually have one more here, which is the Woodland. We have 96, so quite a few of those. Now onto the Ghosts. We have 485 of the basics, 290 Sword Ghosts, and then 348 Ghost Ultras, and then 375 Temple Ghosts. So also quite a few Ghosts that we can spawn. I have used probably the Ghost Ultra the most because that is the one I really like the most, just like the Banshee. I like that one. It's really, really fun to use. And then going on to the Gun Goose, which I never ever spawn. Just seems like it's not worth it to spawn it in Warzone. 77 of the regular ones, 235 Corp Gun Goose, 385 Oni Gun Goose, 328 Tundra Gun Goose, Urban Gun Goose, we have 351, and then 374 Woodland Gun Goose. So quite a bit of Gun Gooses, as you can see. I never ever spawn them. So that's why I have so many collected. Onto the Mantis. We have Court Mantis 180. The regular Mantis we have 197. Hannibal Mantis 82. Oni Mantis 100. Tundra Mantis 98. Urban Mantis 98. And then Woodland Mantis 99. So we have a good amount of Mantis as well. That is one I don't spawn too much. Either if I do spawn one, it's usually the Oni or the Hannibal, because those are just the better ones to use. The Corp Mongoose now, 51. Regular Mongoose 194. Oni Mongoose 57. Then we have the Tundra Mongoose 39. Urban Mongoose 51. Woodland Mongoose 45. So decent amount of mongooses, but I never ever use those. Going on to the Phaetons now. 102 of the basics, and then 45 of the Phaeton Helios. I have spawned a few of these lately, tried to make some videos. I'm sure if you guys have watched them, you probably know that. And it is a little harder to get the Phaeton Helios because it is legendary. And plus, I am apprehensive to spawn these because I don't want to just waste them because they're so much fun to use. And I don't just want to get killed right away, but it's kind of hard to avoid nowadays in Halo 5 Warzone. Random vehicles Rex, we have 998, so almost 1,000 of just those of the uncommons. 331 of the random ones, 64, of the rare ones, and then 64 of the ultra rare ones. So a decent amount of those. Onto the Corp Rocket Warthogs, we have 186 of those. Then we have the regular Warthog for the rockets, 190. Oni Rocket Warthog, 91. Tundra Rocket Warthog, 99. Urban Rocket Warthog, 97. Vespin Rocket Warthog, 82. And then the Woodland Rocket Warthog, 103. So a good amount of Rocket Warthogs as well. Now onto the Scorpions, which I would say I have spawned a lot of these. Usually in Warzone Turbo is when I spawn them. And starting off with the Corp Scorpion, we have 208 of those. Regular Scorpion, 289. Tundra Scorpion, 139. And then Urban Scorpion, 109. Woodland Scorpion, 112. And the Hannibal Scorpion, 91. So we have quite a bit of Scorpions left that we can spawn. And then the Oni Scorpion, which we can't forget, 48 of those, which is a pretty solid Scorpion as well, but obviously the Hannibal is the best to use. But the Oni is very powerful, and I haven't spawned a whole lot of Oni. I would say I spawned the basic Corp Scorpions or the Woodland, the Tundra. Those are probably the ones I go to most. For the regular Scout Warthogs, this is the Corp one. We have 75, Oni 44. This is the Rally Scout 22. This is the basic Scout Warthog 84. Tundra 91. Urban Scout 82. Woodland Scout 58, Corp Warthog 110. Then we have the basic Warthog 140, Rally Warthog 80, Tundra Warthog 340, Urban Warthog 227, Woodland Warthog 355, Oni Warthog 216, and then lastly the Sword Needler Warthog, which we have 221. So I would say we have quite a few Warthogs we could spawn. And I used to spawn these more back in the day when Halo 5 Warzone first came out, but I don't do it much anymore. I don't know why. Just don't. Wasp, we have 210 of the basic ones, which is quite a bit, even though I've spawned a lot of those. Oni Wasp, 94. Hannibal Wasp, 62, which is just fun to use. It's a very, very fun vehicle to use. And I spawned a lot of those as well. And then going on to the Wraiths, the Sword Wraith, 146. The basic Wraith, 264. This is the Anti-Air Wraith, 337. The Temple Wraith, 243, and then the Wraith Ultra, 265. And I've spawned a lot of Wraiths. I don't really spawn the Anti-Air Wraith much, but I spawned a lot of Wraiths, especially the Ultra and the Temple, and we still have quite a few of those. So that's good. We can certainly afford to lose some of those if we play with them in like Warzone Turbo or something. So there's all my vehicles that I have in the racked up over the time for Halo 5. I would say it's quite a few of those, pretty much everything. We have quite a few of those that we've gathered over the years, and it's just cool to look back and see how many we have. And keep in mind, all these Rex you're seeing, I have not spent a single cent. These are all just from grinding the game for so long and opening them using the rec points. So keep that in mind as well. I haven't spent a single dime on Halo 5 when it comes to that. So, which I'm proud of. Don't want to spend money on that stuff. So let's just look at the power-ups because there's not many of those. 64 of the basic active camo, 29 of the active camo, the next one up, and then for the best camo, this is 53. And I do use camo quite a bit, especially Warzone Turbo, because it just seems like it's one of the best ways to survive nowadays when nobody can see you. Just hide in a corner with a sword or something. And then going on a damage boost, we have 363 of those, which is quite a few, and I should use those more than I do. The second one, 164. The best one, we only have 47 of those. Going on to Overshield basics, 161. The second one, 125. And then for the best one, 147, and then for speed boost 177. Second one 178, and then for the best one 135, which I've used speed boost quite a bit as well in Warzone Turbo. Just trying to use it with like the sword or the gravity hammer or whatever it might be to get around the map and just try to get some fun kills. So there you have it. There is all of my power weapons and power vehicles and power ups that I have collected over 5 years of playing Halo 5, not spending any real money whatsoever, just grinding the game and opening up with rec points. So what do you guys think about my collection? Do you guys have similar collection? Do you guys have more than I do? Do you guys have a lot less than I do? Please do let me know. It's kind of fun to look back 5 years later on this game, see how much we've played this game and how much we've collected over all that time. It's just fun to look back, and it's kind of nostalgic. So thank you all so much for watching this video as usual, and I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.